Hi, this is Shannon Port from Art of the Feminine, and I'm here this evening on August 6th, 2017, to make a video about the energies that are happening in the month of August. This video is going to be focused on talking about the lunar eclipse, the partial lunar eclipse that we're having tomorrow on August 7th in Aquarius. And then after that, we're going to move into the Lionsgate portal that's happening on 8/8. And so, as most of you probably know, this month is a loaded month and there is so much going on. And so, I've been away from YouTube for a while. I've been gone for the past couple months and I've been traveling. I had some things going on with work and family. And so it's really good to be back and it's good to be making this video. Um, I've decided that in order to keep up with videos, because I love doing this and I want to keep making videos, I'm going to try something new and make videos that are a little bit shorter in length. If you follow me, you know that a lot of my videos, almost all of them, are over an hour. And so I'm going to try to make a video that's between 15 and 20 minutes, but just check in and touch base with everyone and talk about the energies that are happening on the planet. Look at the astrology, look at the archetypes, and use it as a way to communicate without having it be such a big commitment time-wise for me, because then I think I can get these videos out as I want to. And so, all right. So there's a message with this video today, and we'll look at the archetypes and the planetary alignments. We'll look at the eclipse. We'll look at Lionsgate portal, and then we're going to really. I want to bring in a message that's been coming in really powerfully in everything that I'm doing right now in my work. I've been doing the Inner Mystery School of Divine Love at Art of the Feminine, in the mentoring I do. This is coming in as such a strong message right now, and it ties in perfectly with what we're talking about today. And so, all right, I feel like there was one more thing I wanted to say before we start, and I guess it will come to me. Okay, so we are going to look at. We're going to start by looking at the full moon in Aquarius that happens tomorrow on Monday. Oh, and I just found this out. The full moon is happening at 11:11, and so Pacific time, and so that really ties into to some of the archetypes that are coming in for this video. It's kind of, I haven't seen that in a while, where a big alignment takes place at 11:11, and then that's Pacific time, and then the lunar eclipse happens at 11:22, which is 1122. So that ties in. As you know, we play with the archetypes. So all of this gives us it gives us pieces to look at to create the story that we want to draw from. And so it's like a painting. We start out and we decide, the colors come to us, the palette comes to us. We choose the canvas, we choose the size, we choose the location, we choose what we're going to be looking at. We play with it, and then we make this work to look at and to learn from. And that's what all of creation really is. And so starting tomorrow, we will have a full moon in Aquarius. We are right now in the age of Aquarius, and we also have the eclipses happening in Leo and Aquarius. So the axis of Leo and Aquarius is really, really important right now for the archetypal energies that we're learning from and that we're using to discern what is happening in the world right now and what is happening within us. And so we'll start by looking at the axis. I usually like to start that way. So Leo is the sign of the heart. It's the sign of the sun. It's the sign of strength. It's the sign of courage, creativity, the performing arts. It's in many ways it's a sign of the masculine spirit because it's the sun, but it's also the sign of um, of the solar feminine and the divine feminine, because there's so much goddess energy hidden in the archetypes of Leo that and in the Lionsgate portal. It's all about the divine feminine and the divine masculine and the healing that's happening and the polarity integration that's happening right now. So, because we're in the age of Aquarius, we have the North Node um, we're working with the energies of Aquarius, but at the same time, our North Node is in Leo, which tells us that there is a huge emphasis on the heart. So even though we're in the age of Aquarius, its polar opposite, Leo, focuses on the heart. It focuses on love. It focuses on creativity. It focuses on connecting with our higher self and our innermost divine presence. The sun represents our higher self, as we'll talk about more when we get into the Lionsgate portal. It's a powerful, powerful archetype. It's one of the great archetypes for alchemy. It's key 8 and it's strength. So we have Aquarius. The archetype for Aquarius is key 17, which is the star. And the star tarot is really closely connected with Venus. And the star 17, 17, when you add the 1 plus the 7, you get 8. And the 8-pointed star is really highlighted in this archetype, and it represents Venus. Venus has a special relationship also with Leo, because Venus is the transmitter of the Leo energy. It's Venus that brings through the archetype of Venus and the goddess and the empress and all that she embodies. And Venus is also the archetype of art and creativity, of feelings, of emotions, and of also of will, of the strong divine feminine willpower. She's also the archetype of mastery. So in the tarot, Venus is archetype is the empress, is key 3, but key 8, which is Leo, which is strength, is the goddess walking with the lion. And it's really a form of Venus, and we will talk a little bit more about that. And so, all right, so we're going to look at the planets. We're going to look at the degrees, the archetypes that they bring in. Let me see if there's anything else I want to say about. So we have the axis of Aquarius and Leo. We have the North Node, which means all the eclipses for the next 2 years are going to be clearing out and really, really firing up these 2 archetypes. The age of Aquarius is being brought in right now. Right now, we're actually initiating it and activating it with the eclipses happening in Aquarius and Leo. So as we stated, the eclipse tomorrow is a full moon partial lunar eclipse. The eclipse is happening at 15 degrees Aquarius. And so that means that the moon will be at 15 degrees Aquarius and the sun will be at 15 degrees Leo. Now, so I look at the correspondences, because we work with the archetypes. I look at all the correspondences that have to do with 15. 15, as we know, is the devil in the tarot. It's key 15. It represents all kinds of things, which we'll talk about when we start to talk about Pluto and Capricorn. But 15 degrees Leo is also, it's known in astrology, and I've seen this over the years, and I didn't know a lot about it, but it's known to be kind of a scary degree. 15 degrees Leo. It's kind of one that's has a reputation for being a dark degree in the zodiac, and it's actually known as one of the darkest. Now there's a light side to that as well. It's known as being connected with the destructive energy of Mars, which is very interesting. So this eclipse is happening. The moon will be at 15 degrees Aquarius, the sun at 15 degrees Leo, at this degree in Leo that's associated with a very destructive Mars, kind of angry, volatile energy. There is a fixed star at that degree, and that fixed star is one of the is a powerful star, and it's known, it's pronounced, it's Dubi or Duba. I found a couple different pronunciations but I had never actually said the name of that star, Dubi, and it's one of the 7 rishis in the Hindu teachings. It's one of the powerful 7 sages that is from the constellation Ursa Major. And so it's part of the Big Bear constellation in Ursa Major. And it's one of the key players. So Dubi is the fixed star at 15 degrees Leo. So we're kind of amping it up, finding out that this degree is not, and there's a fixed star at 15 degrees Aquarius, and I forget when it is, but it doesn't have the same reputation. There's fixed stars at both degrees, but I believe that the 15 degrees Leo, where the sun is, really ties into what is happening, because, and the Lionsgate coming the following day. This star is also associated with um, feminine power and courage. The lion, it's associated with Isis. It's associated with Isis. It's associated with the goddess Isis. It's associated with the goddess Bast, the cat goddess of ancient Egypt, and it's associated with being able to persevere. The feminine power being able to persevere, which is funny that it's associated with destructive, angry Mars energy as well. Sometimes we need that. So this is the degree of the eclipse. Again, the sun in Leo and the moon in Aquarius. So eclipses represent changes. They change things, and when it's a lunar eclipse, it's oftentimes something feminine is going on because it's lunar, and it represents kind of the ending of something and the beginning of something else. And the energy plays out, and it plays out in our personal lives as well as on the planet. But today, I especially want to take a look at the planet and what's happening in our world. And so, okay, the other powerful alignment that's happening at the time of this full moon tomorrow is that we have Pluto in Capricorn squaring Jupiter in Libra. Now, this alignment's been going on for a while, but it's exact, and Jupiter is, I believe Jupiter is forward again. Yes, Jupiter's direct again. It just went direct recently. So Jupiter's direct, which makes it powerful because Pluto is retrograde. So they're at the exact degree. Now, again, some archetypal clues to look at. They're at 17 degrees. 17 in the archetypes is Aquarius. So they're at the time of this full moon lunar eclipse in Aquarius, Jupiter and Pluto are at 17 degrees now. So we'll take a look at what we've been talking about this alignment as it's been, transiting for the past many months. But because it's exact, because it's at the time of the full moon, and because it is connected with the lunar eclipse and this feminine energy, that we're a lunar eclipse, the feminine associations with 15 degrees in Leo, where the sun is, a masculine energy at 15 degrees in Leo. And now we have the positive forward movement of Jupiter in Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. Libra is about justice. In the archetypes, the archetype that represents Libra is justice, key 11. The alignment of this full moon happens at 11:11 Pacific time, West Coast time. So it only is 11:11 there, but that it ripples through. It ripples through the time, the correspondences. And so we have justice very, very lit up at the time of this eclipse tomorrow. We have justice. We have 11:11, which is also a number of ascension. It's an ascension portal. And so when we just, this is fun. This is how we kind of read the signs and read intuitive. It opens our intuition. It opens our subconscious mind. That's why we're working with these kinds of signs and correspondences. It's not to get, I always like to say this, it's not to get trapped in the idea that it has to be this way, or it's not to be limited by these archetypes, but it's to be playful and creative. Just like a painter is going to, reach out for that color and mix it with this color and create this shadow and this light. That is what we're doing when we work with the archetypes. We're creating a painting, and then we're looking at it and we're letting it mirror what is inside us. And we're calling in the transcendent energy of our God self, of the divine. And so the 17 Jupiter and Pluto square is big. So we'll look at Pluto in Capricorn, and then we'll look at Jupiter in Libra. So Capricorn, Pluto. So Pluto's going to be in Capricorn for a long time. It's been there for a while. It's going to be there several more years. Pluto represents power, all kinds of power, but it represents the depth of power. It represents the power of sexuality, the power of control, of dominating, the power of regeneration, the power of death and rebirth, and the regenerative powers. Pluto rules Scorpio. It's associated with the Death Tarot. We know that. I've done lots of videos on it. So Pluto is in the sign of Capricorn, the sign of the patriarchy, and many other things. It's Capricorn is 15. Oh, there's another correspondence. I hadn't even really put this one in. So Capricorn is key 15. So the moon and the sun are both at 15 degrees. And so Capricorn is key 15. So that's the 15-degree thing is highlighting Capricorn and what's happening in Capricorn right now. So Capricorn rules it rules the Vatican, it rules religion, it rules the banks in London, it rules our financial system, it rules the Federal Reserve. Capricorn rules it rules the Pentagon, it rules the White House, it rules patriarchal structures, but also structures of our lineage, structures of our heritage, and structures that we've inherited that are in place, that are what's the word, like institutions, but that are enforcing a certain way of living, of being, of believing. Our belief systems, our money. It's very connected with money. Capricorn is. All of these things that are happening in the world right now are highlighted at this time of the shift that we're in, and Capricorn really rules and governs those things, even the Vatican and everything that is happening. It rules. I think it may even rule secret societies, but I'm not sure about that. If anybody knows, you can't leave comments right now. If there are a few people on here live, I didn't announce it as a live stream, but if you know, please write that in the comments. Always feel free to leave a comment about what you know that I haven't mentioned, or any corrections, because sometimes I get going and I'll make a mistake. So we see that Pluto also has the power in Capricorn to regenerate these things, to make new and to rebirth these things. And that is exactly what is happening right now. We are in it. I mean, I've got so many people emailed me saying, please make a video. So much has happened. So much is happening. It's happening. Things are happening day by day. And what's being regenerated is being touched by Pluto, the planet of regeneration in Capricorn. All those things we just mentioned now. So Pluto is squaring Jupiter. Jupiter is justice. It's in Libra. We've got the 11:11 time at the time of the full moon. They're both at 17, the sign of Aquarius, where the full moon eclipse is. Justice is acting right now, and it's like it's a divine. It's a divine feminine justice, because Libra is ruled by Venus, and so there we have Venus working her magic through Libra with these structures and institutions we just mentioned. But Venus is working very powerfully from Libra, with Jupiter transiting her sign Libra. Justice is being enforced. Now, how that happens, we don't know exactly what that looks like, and we can be creative about it. We don't have to think it looks like complete destruction, complete annihilation. It doesn't have to be that way. That's where we get creative. So how can this justice look? That's part of the message that I'm going to bring in as we continue on. It's justice of the heart. And so if you've studied the archetypes, if you've done any of the courses I've taught on the archetypes, you know 11 is 11. Key 11 justice is the heart of the major arcana. It's the very heart in a specific layout. And so true justice happens in the heart. that takes us to Leo. Leo is the heart and it is the sun. So I can tell already I'm going to have to really pick up if I want to keep this video under an hour. So we have there. So there we have that. I wanted to talk about that alignment, even though I've mentioned it many times in other videos. It's exact, and it's exact tomorrow, and it's going to be exact at Lionsgate portal as well. So where do we want to go right after that? Let's look at, so Venus is in Cancer. Venus is transiting Cancer right now, which I find really powerful. She's in the depths of the Cancer, that Venus is in the depths of the sign of the matriarch, of the mother. Cancer is ruled by the moon, and Venus right now, as all of this is happening, the new moons, the full moon, and the two eclipses, Venus is in Cancer, and so the sign of Cancer, she's getting ready to enter Leo as all of this stuff clears out the energy of Leo. Venus is going to enter her divine consort, or the sun, and they're going to have some alchemy together. But she enters it. I don't know the exact date, but I believe at the sign of the total solar eclipse. I believe on the 21st of August. I believe she's still in Cancer, and then she's like almost there. She's at 24 degrees, I believe, and then she'll enter Leo and do her alchemy in Leo, which is always amazing. Right after that, so Venus in Cancer. She's also kind of squaring where she retrograded. I mean, Venus had a big retrograde this year from Aries into Pisces. She coupled with Chiron, the wounded healer. It was a big retrograde for a lot of people. That I think it was 40 days. That long retrograde that she had really did some work with what she's doing in the world right now, and the Venus transits and all of it. So she's getting ready after all of this activity to go into Leo. What we need right now is we need healing in the world. And so these eclipses this month are really about healing. There's a lot of retrograde planets, which means it's about healing. We have Saturn retrograde, Jupiter, or not Jupiter, I'm sorry, Pluto, I think Neptune, Chiron, now Uranus. We have all these. I don't hope I didn't miss any, but there's a lot of retrograde energy, and that means healing, going within and picking up the pieces and restructuring and taking reflecting on what needs to be done. So this is all happening right now. Okay, so Leo also represents strength, and the heart, and we just said that. So trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about the eclipse. We talked about the time, we talked about the powerful Jupiter square with Pluto in Libra and Capricorn, and what they represent. Venus is going to be in, oh, I know, Mars is conjunct the eclipse, and Mars is conjunct this full moon. So Mars energy, this 15 degrees, is also the energy of angry Mars energy. Mars is conjunct the sun. So that just amps it up that much more and gives it that much more kick. Mars is in Leo. And so it's a big deal. All right. There's plenty of other things going on, but I think we hit the things to right now that that kind of set us up for this message that's coming in. So if I see anything else and glance at it, I will go back. All right. This is all leading up to the massive solar eclipse that we have happening on August 21st. It's going to be really, really big in the United States, which is a pivotal energy in the world right now. A lot going on there. So, all right, let's look at Lionsgate. So this right now, we're healing polarity. And especially, it's, when we were in the sign of Pisces, Pisces was working with Virgo, the Christic force and the virgin energy of of the goddess. And now we are working with Leo and Aquarius. And so this is about, every time we're in an age, it's about polarity integration. This age is the age of the heart. It's the age of love. This is who we are right now. It's about the age of healing love and healing relationships. And so there's a lot of healing happening with love and the way we engage in relationships, personal relationships, love relationships, and all of it. So now we're going to look at Lionsgate. So Lionsgate is this magical, mystical portal. So it really gets, I believe it really, I start to feel it coming on around July 22nd, which is Mary Magdalene's feast day. And so we start off with Mary Magdalene's feast day. It's, and then we enter into, which is established by one of the patriarchal institutions, and yet it is Magdalene's feast day. And we pause and we honor the archetype of Magdalene and what she represents. And she's all over the Lionsgate portal as well. It's really her, it's really a divine feminine portal for Isis, for Magdalene, for the Holy Spirit, for the Mother, for the galactic core, for the great central sun, and for all of the mysteries that have been on this planet, for the Christ consciousness since the beginning of time, going all the way back, and it ripples through other timelines as well. All right, so Lionsgate is a sacred stargate. It's a sacred portal. It's about the alignment of the star Sirius, the blue star. Some call it the great central sun because it's known as the blue sun, with our sun, a specific alignment with our sun that starts around the 26th of July and goes through August 12th, but it's at its peak at 8/8, which is August 8th, which is coming in a couple days. And so I did a video 2 years ago when it was 8/8, and it's on this channel, on Shannon Port channel, which is a lot more detail about Lionsgate. I'm going to try to keep it a little more brief today, but that video has a lot of information about the Lionsgate portal. So this alignment of Lionsgate is, which has been, it has been honored and recognized since ancient times, since the ancient Sumerian times, since the ancient Egypt. It's very associated with the goddess Inanna and the lion being the gatekeeper to the mother. And it's very aligned with the mysteries of Isis, Osiris, and Horus, and the Trinity as well, which is the Empress. And so, and also Jupiter is 3. So at this alignment, let me see if there's anything else about the star. It aligns with the pyramids in Giza in Egypt. And so it's a time of the earth. We're in a time, we're in an essential ascension period, and it can be called a stellar activation cycle. We are becoming a greater star of light, and so we have to heal human consciousness. That's the message right now. We have to heal humanity. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about the messages coming in my work right now, and what I'm teaching and who I'm working with. This is such a profound message. It fits in with the Stargate, with the Lionsgate portal in Leo, as well as the eclipses. But this is a time when we are being, this alignment is about the Christ consciousness. Beyond it, this Christ consciousness transcends religion, because Christ, the word Christ might be a trigger for some people. It can be like a religious trigger, as everything is in this planet, if you're not connected with one of the religions that holds the story of the Christ, the biblical Christ. However, let it not be a trigger, because it's like many other archetypes. It's an archetype for the power of the heart, the power of the sun, and the power of the inner Christ. It's the inner awakening. It's the inner alignment with truth, the inner alignment with stillness, the inner alignment with presence, with awareness, and the infinite, the alignment of infinity. It's the alignment with 0 point energy, which is represented by the star Sirius. The Sirius was known in Egypt to be the portal of Isis. It was her sacred portal in her stargate, the star Sirius. It's been known to be home to great sisterhoods and brotherhoods of consciousness that are closely working with our planet, closely helping humanity to wake up in the heart, it's beyond any specific ideals or beyond any specific kinds of new governments or religions or anything like that. It goes beyond that. It's about awakening our understanding of unity and our understanding of divine love on earth, so that we can use this, we can use all these gifts we've been given. We have this beautiful, beautiful earth. I'm looking out on my on my little patch of Gaia. This property I live on is I always like to bring her into the videos I do, is pristine. It's never been walked on, it's never been hiked in. There's not even trails in it. But it's a piece of land that's called preserved land where I live. And so it will always be preserved. It's never been, trees have not been cut down. It's never been groomed. It's never been turned into something human. It's just left wild. And so every morning and all day long, when I look at that, what I see is the tremendous fruits and gifts, which is also associated, by the way, with that fixed star at 15 degrees, the fruits of the goddess, also Lamas, which takes place in August. And lunar Lamas is at this. This is another correspondence. Lunar Lamas is tomorrow at the full moon. Lamas represents the fruits of the earth, the seeds of the earth, and the power of those seeds. And so this is a time when we are meant to learn how to appreciate our earth and learn how to appreciate diversity on this earth. And I've been receiving this a lot lately too, just when I work, when I meditate, when I write, that, you know, we're going into unity consciousness, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we still might have some boundaries. It's okay to have some boundaries. We may even have some borders. And this could trigger some people because it can take us right into politics. But just stay with me here. We have nature. Nature teaches us about life and creative life in 3D. Within the human body is the microcosm of the cosmos and of nature. When we look at our bodies and we look inside and we look at the various organs and the various functions and the systems, they have beautiful membranes and borders and boundaries that keep them intact, because they're performing different functions. We have the liver, the spleen, the kidneys, the heart, the brain. It's all the reproductive system, our systems that handle everything, that we have everything. We have both the light and the dark. I lost the word. We have the light and the dark coexisting together in the same body. The functions that handle the dark within us coexist with the functions that handle creation, procreation, with the functions that handle purification, elimination. They're all working together, but they have different functions, and they have membranes, and they have certain boundaries to keep them able to do their job. So when we have a planet like this, there may be times when different parts of the world are working their self through different paradigms and different belief systems. And that's okay, because we like diversity. We love diversity, and we love having different cultures, different flavors. We don't want everything to be the same and every person to be the same and everyone to have the same education and everyone to have the same house and everyone to have the same amount of children, the same family, the same this, the same that. We love the fact that we travel the world and there's differences, and we get to learn, that we get to play more in this greater game. We do, however, have to learn how to integrate and assimilate and allow the process of bringing people in to our world that want to come in and that want to perhaps honor the kingdom that's created right here, right now. Whatever paradigm is there is being honored, and it's natural. That's natural to want to. And I'm saying this because there's a lot of friction around what's it called, immigration, and also on refugees, the tremendous refugee crisis. I've talked about this a lot in different videos on our planet, and how we work with that. But even just human beings wanting to travel, wanting to move to different places. I wanted to address that because I feel like it's a big part of this energy. Then we'll get back to Lionsgate. It has to do with that, though, because it has to do with aligning with our unified higher self together without having to compromise and give up our beliefs and make it so everyone's the same, like a kind of a communistic or a socialistic, like where everyone is stripped, has to be the exact same, gets the exact privileges, the exact money, the exact food. It's which obviously we want everyone to have what they need, but we want everyone to be able to create things. And also, human beings, we thrive on creativity and we grow from challenges. We're really not meant to have, we're not meant to be lacking in food or shelter and our basic needs. All of our basic needs are meant to be met. But as far as the greatness that we achieve, the sky is the limit. And we're all moving at different rates. And so we're all working our way through paradigms, belief systems that may hold us back, that may keep us more warring, that may keep us more domineering, that may keep us more goddess like, that may keep us more open, that may shut us down more. So different people need to have a space to work in different places at different times. And so that being said, I that came in just because it's such a big deal right now with these. Oh, it's a big deal because of ascension and with alignment. How do we allow ourselves to be not fear each other, to allow each other, to allow our boundaries to be open to other people in the same way we have bodies on our boundary and our we have boundaries on our body. We have an auric field that we have to honor. We have sovereignty. Each human being has their own field of light around them. And that field of light is our spiritual house. And we have say what comes and goes from that field of light in our auric field. It's huge. And so we have to understand that boundaries and membranes and auric fields are a natural part of creation. My body is my body, and I get to choose how I use it. That will have to do with the culture I'm in, that will have to do with my spiritual beliefs, it will have to do with whatever influences, karmic influence I was born into, my planetary energies that make me up, but I get to choose that. In the same way, different groups of people are allowed to be, and this goes along with that energy of Capricorn, institutions and religions. It's okay to have religions. It's okay to have different cultural beliefs and different ways of being. And respecting that, I don't believe we will ever, even as we ascend, we will ever do away with differences. I believe differences are a beautiful part, but we have to learn how to maintain our own integrity, our what we've created, not letting it be bashed down until that time comes, and still get to take part in people who perhaps have very, very different ideological beliefs as we do. So going back to I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going back to the Lionsgate portal, infinity and stillness, and then I want to leave the final message is huge, and this portal is attracted with aligning with our higher self. That's the big message. That's what the that our mother's womb and her heart of the galactic core represents the great divine mother. It represents her womb and her heart, and the great central sun represents all of the energy of our own higher consciousness. It's not separate from us, it's just how we exist in another way, in another time, in another space. We'll talk more about that in another time. So, this portal is big, and this month of August is big. And so, this is the message that I've been receiving. And it's not like it's the first, it's been around the planet, it's everywhere. It's all spiritual, true spiritual mystics and traditions lead back to one thing, and that is that it's in the center that we have access to both our light and our dark. That's why, I want to say this. That's why I called this video Beyond Light and Dark. We need to move beyond polarity. I'll be continuing this theme into the solar eclipse. We need to move beyond polarity. It's the only way we can heal this. We need to allow polarity to exist, allow the light and the dark to coexist. They're always just going to be shadow and light. Part of our painting, a little shadow, a little light. Some paintings have more shadow, some have more light. Shadow and light tell us where we focus, where we place the energy of our attention, where our energy goes. And so how we use them will depend on where we are at and what we are creating. The archetype of Leo is strength. In strength, the goddess walks with the figured 8 over her head, and she walks with the lion, the beast of power, which is also the beast of light and the heart. The lion is often red, which represents the passion of Mars. There's a lot of Mars energy in that archetype. And the yellow represents the sun and the element of air. And then the goddess is oftentimes walking in a white gown, showing she's the virgin of Virgo, the purified virgin, and also of the high priestess and the empress. So we have this figured 8, and this symbol just keeps showing itself over and over. It's the sign of 8 is a figured 8, so it's powerful to say that 8 this really is another 8. It's, I believe it's another 888. The reason being, it's another aspect of the 888. The reason being, the year 17 reduces 17. 1 plus 7 is 8. So it's not the whole year. The whole year 2017 in all the numerological sciences is a 10. But 17, the year we're in, reduces to 8. In that way, we have 8. So 8 is there. You'll have to see the other video for all the correspondences to 8, the other Lionsgate video I made 2 years ago. It represents the infinity sign as well, because when you turn it on its side, it's the infinity. But we get the same polarity when we see the figured 8. It's a number that we don't pick we can draw it without picking up our pen or pencil off the paper. It repeats itself over and over without lifting yourself off. It connects to the infinity of the heart. And so, closing on that, what's happening in the world right now is very polarized. And this is the message. It's polarized between what considers itself to be the darkest of the dark. If you're in this world, you probably know about that, all of the dark, and the intentional dark. There's the unintentional dark and the intentional dark, the dark that's pulling humanity away from life, away from the heart, away from creativity. We always need a little bit of that pull so that we can rise up and use our power and grow. It's important to have a little bit of pull from the dark force, but the intentional dark on the planet would like to reverse the process of the rising consciousness in humanity. So we have the dark, and then we have the light in polarity, the dark and light in polarity, and all these movements that are trying to call out the dark and say, no, it's the age of revelation. And so revelation, going back to that, the revelations that the light polarity is wanting, the age of revelation is the age of Aquarius. Aquarius, the star, is revelation. That's what that archetype means. It's revelation. And so if you don't know the archetypes, I have a video on every single archetype in the archives on this channel. I forgot to mention that at the beginning, but this is the age of revelation. So the light is wanting to reveal the dark. The dark is fighting against the light. It can be what it does is it takes us from the heart into the mind and into our lower appetites, because it stimulates our Mars energy. When we want to fight if we're on the light, and we want to fight if we're on the dark. It doesn't matter. We're ferociously connected to our light cause, just as the dark is ferociously connected to its cause. So there's a lot in here to just meditate, a lot of layers on this. Even when we're on the side of the light and we're calling everything out and we're part of the truth movement or this movement or that movement, yes, we need those movements. Yes, I follow all of them. It's very important. However, what I'm seeing on the planet is everyone getting stuck in their head. This battle now, people are fighting amongst each other. The dark is fighting against the dark. The light is fighting against the light. The dark and light are fighting against each other. Different degrees on the spectrum of light and dark. What we're seeing is the age-old polarity of planet Earth. Welcome to 3D planet Earth. It's no different. And so if we want to, right now, use the energy of the Stargate, use the energies of these eclipses, just hitting the 45-minute mark, I'm going to wrap this up. We can go into the 0 point energy that's represented by the great central sun and this alignment. This alignment is about nothing more than going into the heart, going into 0 point, going into infinity, going into the goddess, going into divine love, going into the Christos, Sophia, using all the energies of the goddess Inanna and Venus and all of it going into the heart. That's why we have Jupiter in Libra right now. That's why Venus is in Cancer right now, going really deep before she alchemizes in Leo. This is the age of the heart, the age of Aquarius. And so, how that happens is that we have to take a certain amount of time to move beyond thinking. We have to be able to access the now moment. When we are in presence of the now moment, we transcend polarity. We are no longer on the light or the dark side. Even if we are aligned with or identify with the light, or I identify with the light, I'm all about the light, I'm all about this movement, I identify with the dark, I want to, do all this black magic and do this. When we go into presence, everything just expands, and we open a well of creativity that sees the truth and that sees unity. And then it's like, yes, if you have a calling to take part in this movement or this movement or this truth, you know, conference or that, you know, conference revealing this or that, then do it. But do it from a place of being able to see. When we are in that place, we alchemize the people around us. We don't even really have to say much more. In fact, every person that just holds that space within these movements is going to be doing more than anyone who's going on and on and on and on. And so we need the word, we need the mouth, we need the brain. And just being honest, I follow all of these things. I engage in them myself, but more and more I'll take weeks of a time where I back off because I see the difference. I see the effect of watching too much of this, of following too many stories about the argument. We need to know, we need to discern, but we can discern with greater clarity when we are in. That's what it means to be in the heart. When we are in the heart, we are in goddess consciousness, we're in divine love, and we are in Christos Sophia. We are in what all of this is about. And so, what Magdalene is about, what the earth is about, what the Christ consciousness is about, that's it. And so, we open infinity, we open inspiration, illumination, and revelation all at once. The elements respond to us, and everything unfolds. Spirit works through us. The end. When we are in our heart, we're not even, the personality isn't really the actor. The spirit is, and especially in our heart, the spirit is trying to touch us just as we are reaching desperately for the spirit. It's within us. And so that's the message. It's aligned with Lionsgate portal. It's aligned with the Leo Aquarius axis. It's aligned with the Jupiter Pluto square and all of it. And so I, I'm going to close out for today, but I'm going to, in the next video, put some tools for doing that because it's really important. You probably all have tools. We all, in every tradition, there's tools for aligning with the present moment, the power of now. Live that way for at least 5 minutes a day, and you will know, you will get key secrets and key truths about real vision, which is the gift of Capricorn, will be revealed. They will be revealed to you when you hold presence. When you take your identification with being a warrior of this or a warrior of that off the table for just a moment, you'll realize you are both. You are both the light and the dark. And it's only by knowing the center that you get to use both in the way that we're meant to use them. And so thank you so much. Thank you to all the subscribers. I haven't been on for a while, but thank you for subscribing. Please subscribe if you haven't already. If you'd like to receive videos, I'm going to be making videos. I'm not sure exactly when, exactly how long yet, but I'm going to keep making videos. I love doing it along with all the other work I do at Art of the Feminine. If you're interested, you can check out my website at artofthefeminine.com. You can't comment if you're on a live view right now because you can't comment when this is live. Please come back and leave a comment if you have something you want to share about anything I said. If you're watching this when it's not a live stream, let me know if you have information about any of those things that you want to add in the comment section. I love it. I love to read it. I love to connect with the people who comment, and subscribe if you're interested. And so that being said, connecting with the power of I am, I know I am. I am, I know I am. I am. I will see you next time.